What's up guys, it's Avery here. Myself and many others are always pushing you to save your money and then invest it. But you can't just declare that you want to invest your money. You actually have to find a platform that you can invest your money with before you can buy that first crisp Apple stock. First off, why do we invest? Of course, it's so we can have enough excess funds so we can join Avery's Patreon because we've already subscribed to him and we want to hang out with him even more. And the other reasons would be that your money devalues as you hold it. If you just keep cash or money in your bank account, it will lose its value and you have far less purchasing power. So it's important that you can invest your money so that it increases at a greater rate than the rate of inflation. And you worked so hard to get that money in the first place, you might as well get that money to work hard for you. And if you keep your money in that bank or in that checking and savings account, the bank will take that money and then invest it and then give you the most minimal amount of return. So instead of making that bank wealthy, you can make yourself wealthy with that money that you've already worked so hard to get. When it comes to investing, there are multiple different types of platforms and different types of accounts that you can invest in. And the easiest one would be an employer-sponsored 401k plan. This is the most typical way that most people invest, and it's the easiest way to do it because you just have your job set up and then you deduct a certain amount from your paycheck that goes straight into that 401k plan and you don't even have to think about it. And I think this is a very easy place for people to start because you really don't have to know much other than signing up on your first couple of days of work. And that company will just do everything for you while you sit back and hopefully have that money grow. And the best thing about an employer-sponsored 401k plan, if you work for a good company, is they will match the amount that you put in up to a certain percentage. So for my company, if I contribute 5% of my paycheck every single month, then they will also contribute 5%, a match of the amount that I put in that will go towards my 401k. That is a 100% guaranteed return. If you put that money in, they're willing to match it, so you need to at least do that. Another type of account that you could open and place where you could invest your money would be in an individual retirement account. And there are two different types. One would be your traditional or your Roth. And this is similar to your employer-sponsored plan where you can pick the traditional or the Roth, except you are going to be the one who is actually doing the work. And it actually depends on what type of platform you use. Sometimes there's robo-advisors, sometimes you are actually picking the stocks, whatever it is, but more on that later. With a traditional IRA, you will not be taxed at the time that you put your money in. You will only be taxed when your money is taken out. So this can work really well for people who are assuming they are going to be earning less money when they take their money out at retirement than they are now. So if I'm not taxed at the current rate that I am making money at, and then I can get taxed at a much lower rate, this type of account makes sense for me. Plus, if you make over a certain amount, you can't use that Roth IRA, so it makes sense for you to invest in the traditional IRA. And these accounts are really great because it allows you to save a lot of money for retirement and watch that money grow without having to do a ton of work, and you're not even allowed to take it out without penalty till the age of 59 and a half, so it keeps you from touching any of that money. The Roth IRA differs from the traditional IRA in that you get taxed as you put that money in the account. So you're taxed at your current income. So if you're someone making $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 a year today, and you put a lot of money in while you're young and then watch it grow, and then by the time you're at that 59 and a half age and you can start taking that money out and you're earning $200,000, $300,000 a year, it's going to be much more beneficial to have that money have grown for that long period of time and to you be taxed at a much lower tax rate than your current salary. Roth IRAs have a couple more limitations, but a lot more powerful benefits than the traditional IRA. You can't put money in if you make more than $140,000 or $208,000 if you're in a married couple and you're doing your taxes together. But you also can't do more than $6,000 every single year, which is less than a traditional IRA. So it's important to think about these things when you're actually picking what type of account to invest in. The third type of account would be a traditional brokerage account, and these differ from the IRA because they don't have the same tax benefits, but there are a lot less limitations with them. There's no income requirements, there's no limit to the amount that you can contribute to them every single year, but you are taxed when you put that money in, when you get that paycheck from your employer, and then you're taxed when you sell and when you take that money out of that specific account. So there's more transactions where you can be taxed, but there's no limit to the amount of money that you can put in. And the traditional brokerage account is where many people will invest their money, especially those who have contributed the already $6,000 to their Roth IRA, who have already reached that amount of contribution limit for the year for whatever IRA they have. So people then go look to the taxable brokerage accounts rather than continuing to invest in their IRA because they can't anymore. So in any of these accounts, you can buy a variety of different assets. That would be stocks, and stocks are an individual share of a company. Like if you bought an Apple stock or a stock in Coca-Cola and you just own a specific share of that one company. And you can also buy bonds where you have a promissory note from a specific company and they're going to pay you a guaranteed return after a certain time period, because it's essentially like you're giving them a loan and they're going to pay you back at a specific interest rate. Some other things would be index funds, mutual funds, exchange traded funds, which are all fairly similar but a little bit different. And essentially you're buying a basket of stocks that allow you to have a bit more coverage and more diversity when you're buying a share of whatever it is. So you can buy something like the S&P 500 or VTI, which is just a total stock market index fund, so you're not tied to that one specific company. If Apple takes off, you're going to do really well. But if Coca-Cola goes down a ton in value, so will your stock portfolio. So it makes sense to invest in some of these funds so you have more diversification. So where you can actually buy your investment account and what the point of this whole video is, because I've been pushing you to invest, save your money, and then actually make it grow, is what platform you're going to actually have to pick, because you can't just say I have an investment account like I said. You have to pick a place to invest and then buy stocks through their website or through their app or whatever it is. And I would say that there are 3 different types of brokerages or apps or whatever that you can actually use as an investment account. And that first would be a traditional type of investment account, like a place Vanguard, Schwab, or Fidelity, and there's many others, but that's where you can put your money in. They're trusted, they're well known, and they also have low fees if you're investing in those funds. So Vanguard, Schwab, and Fidelity are all quite similar, and they have a lot of the same type of funds. They have a lot of these total stock market funds, and you can buy bonds or individual shares of companies. And they've been around for a long time, so I feel pretty good about putting my money in those specific accounts. Another type of account that has become popularized would be accounts that have robo-advisors like M1 Finance, Betterment, Personal Capital, and anything like that, where you can put your money in and then you have that robo-advisor. And that robo-advisor is essentially an automated type of AI that will rebalance your portfolio for you and have you do very little work. You essentially just put your money in and then have the different type of allocation of which assets you want to buy, stocks, bonds, whatever it is, to a certain percentage, and then they will really just do all of the work for you for a small fee. And the last type of account I want to talk about would be the ones that are tailored for beginners. These are extremely easy to open. You can pretty much open your phone, download an app, and get accepted to start investing in that specific app today. And the most common one that people will know would be Robinhood. Robinhood is one that is a great example that is tailored towards beginners. Another example of this would be something like Webull or Public, where you can just open your phone, download that app, and start investing essentially right away, as long as you have some money to actually invest. The other reason why people really like these apps and like using these accounts is because they have commission-free trades. Not only can you just sit there, open it up on your phone, but you have commission-free trades, which is good and bad, and it allows these platforms to get a wider reach of people, and why Robinhood is one of the most signed up apps for new traders. So I don't really want to give my opinion on any of the 3, and I want to let you do your research, but I'll tell you what I personally use, and that would be Vanguard. And I personally like Vanguard because it was the birthplace of the index fund. Jack Bogle created the first total stock market index fund, which allowed you to basically just buy the entire economy and not have to worry so much about specific companies. If you're going to be buying a specific share of a specific company, then you really have to know about that company and believe in that company. Now, obviously, many individual companies have taken off and done really well. If you invested in Amazon early, in Uber early, in Tesla early, you would have made a lot of money, and you probably still can. But with a specific index fund, you're just buying that total stock market and you are betting on the American economy increasing over time, which it has since the economy has started. I personally like this approach of buying ETFs and index funds because it is far more passive. Like I said, when you're picking that specific stock, you have to understand that company. You could be looking through their financials. You have to be tied to the news and see what's going on so you know if you should keep buying or if you should stop buying and sell. So there's a lot more things to think about. But I know in my heart, and this is not financial advice or a guarantee, but I guarantee to myself that the American economy will increase over the course of my lifetime. Now, there might be one year where it completely crashes and other years where it goes up a lot, but I know if I'm looking in the long term that it will go up over time. And the way I approach investing in the stock market is pretty much the same way I approach investing in any type of account that I have. I have money that is automatically withdrawn from my checking account, goes to Vanguard, and then I purchase those shares when I have that money, and I really don't have to think about it. I buy pretty much the same couple of funds, and that's all I do. I don't really have to think about what is going on in the news. I don't have to waste my time looking at company financials. I just buy those same few funds and then watch it grow. So if you've been following along with the channel, you'll know that I love investing in real estate. I personally think it is the best investment vehicle out there. There are so many great benefits associated with real estate, but investing in the stock market is also really important. And I do really like the passive aspect of investing in the stock market if you're taking the same approach as me. I really don't like to think, and this way of passively investing in index funds really plays along with that. So I really want to hear from you guys. Do you already invest? Are you looking to start to invest and you're really not sure what to do? Drop it in the comments below. I'll be sure to answer your questions and hopefully help you out to get started actually investing in the stock market because it's really powerful. Inflation has been crazy high this year in the past year, so it's important that you can start investing your money to hedge against that inflation so you're not devaluing and losing the purchasing power of your dollar. So don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe so more people know how to do this stuff, know how to learn how to invest in the stock market, and pick a platform when investing that is actually worth using. Thanks again for watching and hope to see you guys next time.